First race on a very special Whirlpool Saturday at Leopardstown as we travel to Ireland is the Ingabell Stakes. It's for the Juvenile Fillies. It's a 2-year-old race, of course, 1,400 metres, and they'll take that sweeping left turn before they head for home, and we'll sort out who the best of the 2-year-olds is, certainly on the day. Right, Brownstown is number 1. There's Caught You Sleeping, 1 from 1, number 2. Diamond Necklace, ditto that, comment 3. Inbox hasn't run, number 4. Further down, we're going to go down to the likes of Red Autumn, Sukanya, and at the bottom, Venosa, who is a stablemate of Diamond Necklace. And Diamond Necklace, Graham Cunningham, welcome along, is a very obvious starting point, isn't she?
Yeah. Hi, Nick. Hi, everyone. Look at the pedigree, look at the price tag, look at the performance from Diamond Necklace. She cost a great deal of money, 1.7 million euro. She's a half-sitter Magic Wand, nearly won a Hong Kong Cup a few years ago for Aiden. 9-1, Fran Berry, not really fancied on this day, but look how strong she was at the finish, Fran.
Very, very impressive performance, Nick, given that many of her rivals had the benefit of previous performance, including the eventual second Minerva, who did let the form down recently at Gorham Park subsequent to that run, but it's just the manner in which the race developed for Diamond Necklace on that occasion, the way she hit the line, and she got a good education also switching between a horse and finish off a run strongly. I think she's a very exciting filly, and it is just a little bit more streetwise for that experience with the nature Leopardstown short run on the 1,400-metre track to the first bend. It can often get tactical, but I do think she's too good for rivals with clean running here.
Yeah, OK. We'll get the selections of Graham alongside, and I guess, look, Aidan O'Brien, he's got Diamond Necklace and another in here. Shuffle the pack, considering the Group 1 race on the Sunday as well. He's got a strong hand. Is she in your 4? I
think she's the dominant filly in this race. 1 or 2 of the form potential dangers haven't declared. So I'm going to go 3, 5, 9, 1 here. The price won't be great. The performance might be. Diamond Necklace on top for the Ingabell.
Fran?
Yes, I think with Graham, I think Diamond Necklace number 1 will be very hard to beat. Number 3, Diamond Necklace will be very hard to beat. Back in second, number 9, Sukanya, who definitely improved, stepping up in distance. Number 5, pace-setting type Kensington Lane, back in third. And number 2, Caught You Sleeping, who was impressive on debut when winning at Naas.
Fran, it will not matter what number Diamond Necklace is by the end, because it will be number 1. We're going to go for a team steam in our first race. Best of luck, whatever you're going for. Race 2 of the 9, this big Saturday, this big Whirlpool day at Leopardstown. It's the first handicap, and it's a very valuable one, and it will be a rich contest as regards competition. It should be anyway. You'll be familiar with the course and distance. This is the map that we saw for the Ingabell Stakes race 1, and it is also the distance for the Sovereign Path race 2. Rami is there, heads them. Dance Night and Day will come to One Smack Mac, Hurricane Ivor, Sleeve Binion, Blues Emperor. This is page 1 of the 16 declared runners. Chicago Fireball, Noble Truth, Tribal Nation, I Am Superman, Glenn Finnan, and down to Nakasero. I mentioned Dance Night and Day, and an obvious starting point is last year's race, isn't it, Graham?
Yeah, it's an old piece of form, but I think it might be a valuable one. Look at that horse on the inside, Blues Emperor. He's a big price, but he shouldn't be. He's got a good chance this weekend. Towards the outside, the winner, Dance Night and Day, highlighted, and about to hit the front. For Jack Davison at this point, he's now got Stephen Thorne's his trainer. Gleneagle Bay has been threatening to win a big handicap for ages now. So Dance Night and Day is £6 higher than last year. Gleneagle Bay comes back in great form. Blues Emperor didn't shine last time, but he wasn't well positioned at all. This has to be a key galloping clue. 12 months ago, but still valid, I think, Nick.
Isn't it? Fran, Graham mentioning Gleneagle Bay, who was unlucky, or certainly close at Ascot, close at Galway last time as well, perennial bridesmaid.
Yes, and Gleneagle Bay, look, we've seen him big handicaps throughout this season and last year, of course, just denied in the corresponding race, but on this occasion, he had a perfect run throughout. Now, time has told that the horse went on to beat him. Princess Child is a very smart filly in her own right. She won a Group 3 in battling style last week at Tipperary. But Gleneagle Bay, the perfect ground-saving trip, albeit tracking Dunham throughout, and once switching to the front. Like he's done in the past, he's been a horse, I think, that once he gets to the front, even though he put daylight between himself and Dunham, he tends to park in front somewhat. And that's my concern for him. He parked when he got there last year. I think he's going to need a really cool ride to get his head in front. He's definitely got the ability. He won't be out of money, but for me, the likes of Dunham, I can see him running a big race as well, although it's attracted often favours in this type of race with likely strong gallop closers down towards the middle of the track like last year's race.
Fran, thank you. We'll get to the selections, Graham.
Yeah, I've got a view on that Galway race. I think the first 2 or 3 did really well because they went extremely hard round the bend and they still hung on. Gleneagle Bay won't be missed in the market, but I've had him on my radar for a big handicap for ages. He's top for me ahead of Blues Emperor, badly positioned, held up last time. He'll get a more positive ride this time around. 3 Dunham, by word for consistency, second in this race 2 years ago. And 14, Peer Pressure, who's dead consistent. It's 5, 8, 3 and 14 for me.
Good luck, Graham. Fran?
I'm going against Gleneagle Bay here. Sleeve Bingham won a big handicap earlier this year. Leopardstown, he's versatile as regards ground. He's the winner for me, number 7. He'll appreciate a strong gallop. Gleneagle Bay, number 5, a bridesmaid again. And improving unexposed type, number 12, Tribal Nation. A strong gallop should suit him well. And the honourable, likeable Dunham, number 3, back and forth.
Good stuff. Good luck, both of you. I'm going to take a chance on one that was in Fran's numbers there. Tribal Nation, first run since gelding. Best of luck, whatever you're playing. It's a competitive race. We move on to a smaller field race for race 3, but it's very much one for the future and hopefully one of real quality going forward. The KPMG Champion Juvenile race, Group 2, and it's run over 1,600 metres, slightly longer, as you'll see further down the back as they swing. And the small field will doubtless be sorted out by the time we get to the finish. OK, they're headed by a boy named Susie, Benvenuto Cellini, one of the 2 for Aidan O'Brien, Hardy Warrior, Montreal, and Nilbua Gandua. They are your 5. August Rodin, Graham, would be the best recent winner of this. We all want to see another one. Aidan O'Brien has 2 strong bullets to fire.
Lots of good horses have won this. Sad that we've only got 5 runners. There were 38 original entries. 31 of them were trained by O'Brien's. There were 12 5-day entries. 11 of them were trained by O'Brien's, and there are 5 48-hour entries, and they're all trained by O'Brien's. And if you don't think that sounds a jarring note for Irish racing, I don't know what to tell you. But Benvenuto Cellini is a very well-bred horse, and he looks to be very progressive. You won't miss him in the race because he's a flashy, elegant chestnut. And this is a lesser race. Of course, he steps up in class this weekend at Killarney, and he was very short in the market here, but he wins it emphatically. And Nick and Fran, the form has worked out nicely. So, Fran, you can touch on the jockey bookings here for a couple of key Aidan O'Brien horses. But I have to like the way this horse goes about his business. And the horses he beat have upheld the form and then a bit.
Indeed, the form has worked out very well. Hardy Warrior just catching the eye on his debut effort, finishing off really nicely. Subsequently, went on to win very well at Leopardstown. Killarney, for viewers in Hong Kong, has a history of producing in mile maidens some good performance by horses that have gone on to better things. I think, Graham, this is a horse that can go on to better things. He looked really a horse who was going to improve for his initial outing markedly. He did at Killarney, and he still looked a work in progress on that occasion, getting onto a larger circuit at Leopardstown with the benefit of them 2 runs. It should suit him very well, but it's interesting that rider Ronan Whelan has picked up the ride on Benvenuto Cellini, and Christophe Soumillon, who's over for the weekend for Team Ballydoyle, and Aidan O'Brien rides Montreal. And we're going to get a look at his VT now, who is an impressive winner on debut, making his second start, and he kept on strongly to win by 8 lengths on this occasion, having had a run behind Hardy Warrior on debut, beaten 6 lengths by Hardy Warrior on debut on that occasion, on this time at Leopardstown. Inside track, right in towards the inside rail there, as you can see. He blitzed the field, one sent about his business. He kept on strongly. Rider Wayne Lorden on the day, making his mind up, making sure he lengthened well, and he did so. There is one note of caution though. The eventual second has ran in a claiming race at Navan, has got beaten well since then. But visually, the way this horse went through the race and the booking of Soumillon is very significant on this occasion back at Leopardstown.
Yeah, the 2nd, the 4th and the 5th have all looked dead ordinary since, but we shouldn't hold that against Montreal. Well-bred sees the stars colt, and he bolted up last time. He looks a real strong galloper. He might be the one to take them along here.
Look like a Derby horse of the future. Right, your 1, 2, 3, 4, please.
It's going to be 2, 4, 3 and 1. Slightly disappointing field in terms of size, but there could be a real good one in there, and I hope it might be Benvenuto Cellini.
Fran?
I'm on the exact same team as Graham and going with Benvenuto Cellini, who is very, very impressive at Killarney. I think the best yet to come. He's my selection as the winner. Number 2, number 4, Stable Companion Montreal back in 2nd, 3 Hardy Warrior back in 3rd, and a boy named Susie, who'll be ridden cold, I think, picking up the piece later on to be 4th.
Good stuff. Good luck, gents. I'll take you on. I'm going to go for Montreal. I think he looked like a Derby horse, and I hope he can win on Saturday. We move on to race 4 and step up in trip yet further for the 2,400 metres Group 3 CMG Group Stakes. And it's for 3-year-olds and upwards, so some pretty grizzled performers in the lineup. Looking forward to this. Al Azi is just in that mould. He seems to have been around forever. Sons and Lovers. Trust Your Instinct won this last year. Fleetfoot was a gamble a few weeks ago at York. Sunchart, McGillimar, down to Omniman, Rienzi. It's a Heartbeat. And they are the runners. Looking forward to this. Right, let's talk about, well, get Graham's thoughts on the British representation of Al Azi, who's long been a talent.
He's an amazing horse. He was second in this race a couple of years ago. Nick and Fran, everyone. This horse has run in 15 Group 3 races in his career. He's won 8 of them. And here he is, 8 years of age, looking pretty much as good as ever, beating 2 smart horses. Second and third here were rated 110, 108. There's really not much not to like about Al Azi, Fran, is there?
No, and 2 years ago, Graham, he was a little bit unlucky with the way things panned out from in this race in Leopardstown, but it did show that it crucially can travel outside the UK and perform to high level. Danny Tudhope, with the absence of regular rider Jim Crowley, picks up the ride. And for me, with the makeup of this race, potential again for a strong pace, and crucially, with rain soft and ground likely at Leopardstown, I think he sets a really good standard here, and he will hopefully gain compensation for that defeat 2 years ago.
OK, you've led us into, well, I'm sort of indicating where you're going to go with your tip, but I want to get your thoughts on last year's winner of the race, Trust Your Instinct, who's been off a little while, but based on what we've seen so far this summer, it's hard to argue this horse isn't as good as ever.
As good, or maybe not better than ever. He was very, very authoritative when he beat Lafayette, his old rival, who is to left a shot in the pink colours there on this occasion in last year's race. But Trust Your Instinct kept on well. He sat second throughout. Connections have tied with waiting tactics in recent starts, and that's proved to pay dividends for him. But on this occasion, up at the speed, he kept on well to beat Kinesiology and a host of horses to finish off well. He's a huge likeable horse. He's very solid in Group 2, Group 3 company, but I do think this race is a stronger renewal than last year, and he'll have to get his best to figure here.
Yeah, to Fran's point there, horses that Trust Your Instinct beat in this race last year were rated 104, 100 and 102. There are 2 or 3 horses in this year's lineup who are just cut from different cloth than that.
So who makes the list?
I'm going to take a chance with a 3-year-old. Convergent is the horse in question. He's low mileage, but he ran a belter, just touched off, beaten on the line in the German Derby last time. I think he's got a better chance than the market might suggest here. 8, 1, 3 and 2. And Convergent on top for me, Fran and Nick.
Fran.
I'm with Al Azi. I think the make of this race will suit him very well. I have maximum respect for Convergent on the back of that run in the German Derby, and also his run at Chester, which has worked out very well back in May. He, though, could get pace pressure off Sons and Lovers, and that should suit Al Azi. That's my selection, number 1, who would finish late and strong down towards the outside, hopefully. Conservant back in second, number 8. Trust Your Instinct, number 3, back in third. And Sons and Lovers back in fourth, number 2.
Right, it's an Irish race, but we're going against them. I'm with you, Graham. Carl Burke's record, very, very good at Leopardstown. Tidy from a small sample, and Convergent on top for me. Best of luck, whatever you're playing. Right, race 5 on this big Whirlpool Day at Leopardstown. It's one of the biggies as you join Fran, Berry, Graham and I as we preview the Coolmore America Justify Matron Stakes, Group 1, filly and mares, 1,600 metres. And it is for the elites. It's a proper race. It should be for the race, the status, the grade, the prize money and everything that goes with it. Right. Number 1, Duckadilly's going to be up against it. 2 is Fallen Angel, bids to go 1 better than last year. Further down, Sparks Fly. Will she get her ground? Vera's Secret is excellent at Leopardstown. At Sealer, number 6. Out California Dreamer, Cathedral. So Senny's having a fantastic season. And a couple for Aidan O'Brien at the bottom. Exactly. And January cheap pieces on for January. Let's go back to last year's running of this very race, Fran, and Fallen Angel giving best to an oh-so Class 1 Important Fortuna.
Yes, and in her first colours for Whatnan Racing, she was having her first run back since being a ready winner of the Irish Guineas back in May, and having had a midsummer absence, it was a cracking effort on this occasion. The winner, Port Fortuna, was the top filly of her generation. Fallen Angel not be far behind her at all, and she rallied really well when the winner began to idle late on. Get back up for second, keeping on Soprano for third, another top filly in a Lang Lang. It was a cracking effort, and given the length of time she's off the track, Fallen Angel, on that occasion, she comes into this year's renewal with a much better preparation on the back of that recent win in France, beating January on that occasion.
Teed it up beautifully. January.
Yeah, it's unusual this, because I think she's had about 7 goals at winning a group race, and she hasn't won one. But she is definitely thriving, and she has got better as the season has gone on. This is Group 1 company at Newmarket. She's a good Godolphin filly in Cinderella's Dream, and she sees the front and runs unwillingly and just gets worn down by a high-quality rival. I want to throw from this, Fran, talking over this video, and then going to France last time. Nothing between Fallen Angel and January. But January now has cheek pieces for the first time. I think you have a theory about the way she may be ridden this weekend.
Yeah, it's just a theory, but with the likes of Vera's Secret in the race and exactly as well in stall 1, I can see this race being run at a high tempo. And if history and genealogy is anything to go by, Graham, her dam, I Can Fly was winner of the Boomerang Stakes, as known then, the mile race on this card. And all of her best form was when she was held up late, last in rear, and finished off strongly down towards the outside. I can see, given the way that she's travelled on all runs this year, January, she takes herself to the front. Then she maybe doesn't do as much as you expect when she gets there, for all that she rallied when the likes of Fallen Angel got to her. But for me, with the nature of Leopardstown, the way the race could play out, I think she's ridden cold. It's going to be a tough watch looking at her until last furlong, but if she can emulate her mother with the cheek pieces on, I think it's going to be very hard to beat here, and I'm sure exactly will ensure a strong gallop on the front end to suit her style of racing.
Yeah, I want to make one more point on this Fallen Angel January duel. They came clear of the rest in a Group 1, the pre-Rothschild at Deauville. If you watch the race again, I got the feeling that Christophe Soumillon thought that he could win with firm hands and heels. I understand that. She was going superbly well. But by the time he realised that Fallen Angel was rallying, the post was looming. So I think both me and Fran think that January might reverse the form. She's a winner at this meeting, and her dam finished 5th in this race, so it's in the blood with this one.
Graham, I'll stick with you. Sassini has already, well, she caused a bit of a surprise when she won one of the elite filly mile races when winning the Coronation Stakes. We are seeing her in a funny race up in Trip at Goodwood thereafter, and a little bit unsatisfactory in so many ways.
It was a flag start amid the deluge, the monsoon at Goodwood. It was well when she was on her A game, but Sassini runs pretty well in defeat. She's ahead of a couple of good fillies, including See the Fire, but I think a well-run mile round Leopardstown might be more Sassini's cup of tea. She has to go well, Fran, surely.
And again, with a likely strong gallop to bring out the best in Sassini after that shock success in the Coronation Stakes, given her price in the market, but not her overall form. It was a cracking effort again on a ground it wouldn't have suited last week, at Goodwood at the early part of August. And with the nature of Leopardstown and more suitable ground, she's a big contender as well. We haven't probably seen the best of her to date either. She looks like a filly that should continue to progress physically from 3 to 4 as well.
OK, right. Selections time. Graham, with the exception of Pearls Galore 3 years ago, this has been a 3-year-old benefit. Is that going to continue?
I hope so. I think January is going to shine in September here. She's on top for me. I really like the cheap pieces angle. I like the fact that it's going to be a very strongly run race. 11, 9, 2 and 10. Fran Berry, I think we're both January men here, aren't we?
January to be ridden cold, and excuse the pun, by Christophe Soumillon to finish off strongly. Number 11, January, is the winner to beat last year's second again, Fallen Angel. Number 2, Sassini back in 3rd, running another notable race, Group 1 company. Number 9, and the pace setting Vera's Secret, running a big race back in 4th, number 5.
She's 3 from 3 at that track. She loves it. I think this is a great race. I'm going to go to Sassini to win it. Slight viable alternative perhaps to a January or the top-rated Fallen Angel. Best of luck, whatever you're going for. Race 6, this big day for the World Pool at Leopardstown on Saturday, first day of the Irish Champions weekend. Well, it is another group race. It is the Solonaway Stakes, Group 2, 1,600 metres, which is the exact same distance that the top-class fillies will have used for the Matron Stakes, the race that precedes it. Right, these horses that run, Chicago Critic knows how to win here, as do a load of these. Johan, number 2, Lord Massousas, Mutasaref, who's a perennial. Alakazi certainly knows how to win here. Comanche Brave, Expanded, Scorthy Champ, who's been set some tough assignments, but is a good horse, and Copa Cabana Sands. Right, let's go up to Fran, and much like the horse we're about to talk about, the ageless Johan, let's go to the ageless Fran Berry. What chance this horse?
Remarkable at the age of 8 that he gets the first Group 3 success here with a very positive ride, outpointing a horse at this point of the run in Mutasaref, who's got a very, very good record in Leopardstown. But Johan, not for passing on this occasion, he kept on strongly in his try as Alakazi, who was just momentarily outpaced on the home turn. He mowed down the ground somewhat inside the last 100 yards, but the winner game finds plenty for pressure to fend off the Johnny Murtagh trained duo in Alakazi and Chicago Critic, who ran a very good race again on this track. But for me, looking at the way Alakazi performed there and the likelihood of more pace pressure in the front end for Johan and an outer track configuration Leopardstown, I don't think he'll get the same result. And if Alakazi gets a better gallop to aim at on rain-soft conditions, albeit I think he can reverse form with Johan, who got his big day in the sun last time.
Agreed. That was a beautifully measured ride by Ronan Whelan on Johan that day. And I think with different setup, stronger opposition overall today, this weekend, I think that Alakazi is the one to know from that race.
OK, Graham, let's get the thoughts of... it's been a little while since we've seen this horse, admittedly. Comanche Brave. We'll get your thoughts on this horse, who goes back up in both trip and grade.
Yeah, I think he's a slightly underrated horse, this fella. What he does is what we can see here. He's a real first-class traveller. He travels very sweetly. Now, of course, this race at Naas, he was entitled to win it well. He was 4-7 in the market, and he does win it well. But it's not his only good performance. If we go back in time, 5th in the Irish 2000 Guineas Group 1 behind Field of Gold, 3rd in the Jersey Stakes at Royal Ascot. He's been given a nice little break, late summer break. Hold-up horse with a bit of a turn of foot. I think he's going to give you a good run. Good
stuff. Right, Graham, your 1, 2, 3, 4, please.
7, 6, 2 and 5. Comanche Brave on top of the progressive Alakazi with Johan and Skakuza for the Brits in for the minor honours.
Fran Berry.
Number 6, Alakazi, with the likelihood of a good gallop to aim. I can see him gain his first group success of his career. Skakuza, great record in Ireland, career best run last time in York, back in second. Number 5, Comanche Brave, I just wonder about the ground for him on this occasion, back in third. Number 7, and a horse that we haven't seen the best of this year, but is interesting after Brave, after a break since running poorly in Guineas at Newmarket in the Corrie early year, Expanded.
You're going to laugh at me, but he won a Group 1 at this festival last year. I'm not deserting Scorthy Champ, number 9, giving him another go. Let's see. And so then, welcome along to the very biggest race of the day. It is the Royal Bahrain Irish Champion Stakes. 2,000 metres is the trip, and it is the jewel in the crown of what we're looking forward to today. Fran Berry and Graham Cunningham alongside. Let's show you the course map at Leopardstown. And they'll hit that first bend before swinging down the back straight, turning for home. And we've had some contentious finishes, dramatic finishes. Horses ended up in the centre of the track, all sorts going on in this particular race. It's a class race, and it should be for the prize money. Ann Martin's number 1. Number 2 is Royal Champion 3, the Japanese runner back for Morshin Emperor, White Birch, De La Croix, Hot as Hell, Mount Kilimanjaro, and the very interesting Zahran. Right, let's have a look, Graham, at the obvious starting point in so many ways. We've got Hodsell there. But De La Croix, his big day in the sun when he won the Eclipse at Sandown.
Huge day, enormous day for this horse this weekend. And this was Coral Eclipse, runner the stop-start gallop. He is going absolutely nowhere with a capital N at this point. But he finds a tremendous turn of foot to nail the drifting, wandering Ombudsman on this piece of form, Fran. He's 126, the highest rated horse on deck. But on other bits of form, he's not. So pay your money, take your choice with De La Croix.
And trained by the master trainer, Nathan O'Brien. It's his home turf at Leopardstown on Saturday. But here he is in the race of York, the Jumpmont International. The race that was spread apart by the pacemaking ownership companion of the adventure winner, Ombudsman. And De La Croix, it took him the whole length of the straight to get the better of the pacemaker, who got a huge lead on the rest of the field, set to fire, keeping on as well late on in the Noseman. But Ombudsman, on this occasion, in a class of his own, gets up to win by 4.5 to 5 lengths from the De La Croix back in second, who put in a laboured effort on that occasion. There was no sign of that turn of foot at any length of the straight in York, but maybe the nature of Leopardstown will suit him better. We saw him to really good effect there in a couple of trial races this season. One thing to note though, he didn't travel around the track last year when beaten on this card last year, and I think the jury is out slightly with De La Croix going here ahead of the Irish Champion Stakes.
We have to set it in the context of the price he's going to be, which is very, very short. So in a dangerous field, no Ombudsman, but we do have last year's third Shin Emperor, the Japanese raider.
You've teed it up beautifully. This is behind Economics, big white blaze, who unfortunately we've seen barely anything of since. August Rodin, absolute class act. If Shin Emperor runs this race again, Graham, is he the one to beat?
Well, it's not unusual, as Fran will confirm, to have a hard luck story or two in this race. And there he is, caught in a pocket, Shin Emperor at a crucial point. I don't think we can say he was an unlucky loser, but he would have finished somewhat closer. On that evidence, he's a high-class horse. On his Japan Cup second, he's a high-class horse. But Fran, have been a couple of blips on the record as well.
He does, and Graham, he proved his versatility when he won at in Saudi Arabia. He ran a superb race following a run on testing ground the Arca after running the Irish Champion Stakes last year. He's a full-blooded Sotsas, a winner of an Arca horse that ran well behind Magical in the Irish Champion Stakes. And looking at him this week on the Curragh, I think he's matured very well from 3 to 4. A race his Sake crucially on the back of last year's experience of riding from stall number 1 at Leopardstown. Has been riding at Cork last night. He's riding at Clonmel on ahead of riding the Irish Champion Stakes. The experience of riding in Ireland will stand him in good stead. And there is a thing with the weather here at Leopardstown. We're expecting rain, softened ground potentially, but Leopardstown is its own microclimate. It may not get rain that you expect on occasions there, and if it doesn't materialise on his overall form with his profile and the experience of running last year, Shin Emperor is definitely a high-class horse, and I think he's bang there in the mix, trained by a master also.
OK, rain is always what Anmart wants. Is it suitable?
I think conditions are absolutely bang on. Now, no 7-year-olds ever won this race. Swain won it, age 6, in 1998, but this fella is aging like a fine wine. He couldn't possibly win this Kipco Champion Stakes. There he is in the blue Shadwell colours, a wall of horses in front of him. But look at the turn of foot he produces, and look at the horses he beats. Calandagan, Economics is in there, last year's winner of this race. He's had a light season this time around. Excellent effort in Ireland and Tats Gold Cup. Really good performance behind Ombudsman in the Prince of Wales Stakes at Royal Ascot. Kept fresh since then. What is not to like about the evergreen Anmart? That's what I say. OK,
we saw him beating Fran there, Calandagan in the famous colours of the late Aga Khan, who's got this really interesting improver this year, Zaran.
Yes, and a horse we didn't see the track as a 2-year-old at all, but he's made big strides in a short space of time, from winning a maiden at Cork back in May to progressing to be just beat Royal Ascot in a cracking finish on that occasion, and on his return to action after a couple-month layoff here in the Royal West Stakes in the Curragh. He did have the benefit of a ground-saving run, helped by his rival who made the running initially from Tangapur, the outside of the field. Ben Cohen, once he got the gap down the rail, he showed what is his trademark nick, a sharp turn of foot to put distance between himself and his rivals. The horse back in third, Galen, is a previous group winner. He had Los Angeles on his comeback run as well, back and forth. He's a highly interesting horse. If, as a 3-year-old, this race doesn't come too soon in his development, he's a big player.
Graham, tips time.
Yeah, one of the best angles for me, at least, in a big Whelphill race is a short price favourite you think might be vulnerable. It's Delacroix here. I'm going to go with Anmart. I think he has everything you look for in a horse to go close in this race. Chris Hayes takes the ride with Jim Crowley injured. 1, 3, 5 and 2 with Anmart on top in the Royal Bahrain Champion Stakes.
Fran Berry, please.
With a various degree of weather forecast for the Dublin area, I'm hoping Leopardstown doesn't get the rain, and if not, Shin Emperor will bid to go a couple of places better than last year's run. His rider will know the track better, and Shin Emperor can give Japan a first win in a Royal Bahrain Irish Champion Stakes. Number 3 to beat the Tattersalls Gold Cup form, and number 1, Anmart. White Birch, number 4, back in third, and Delacroix bombing out slightly back in fourth, number 5.
Good luck, gents. Graham, I'm with you. I think he's got everything in his favour. It's Anmart, number 1 for me. Right, we work our way to the tail end of the card on day 1 of Irish Champions weekend. It's Leopardstown, of course, big Whirlpool day, and the 6:05 local time is the 2600 metre Petingo Handicap. It's a prestigious race. They'll start right in front of the grandstand, just after the winning post, before they do near enough a complete lap of the track. Right, we're headed up by Harbour Winds. Number 2 is London City. Further down, Crypto Force, Aeronautic, big player. See the Boss, Bunting, Comfort Zone. And Zanderbad's there as well. That was just page 1. We move to page 2. Happy Pharaoh, 2 Bossy for us. Lord Church, God of Thunder, and down to Light as Air, Bryant and Razdan. I mentioned Aeronautic, and I think with good reason, Graham.
Wide open handicap, but here's a strong contender, I think. He's only had 7 runs. He ran very well at Royal Ascot, went 5th, travelling keenly on the speed. That's exactly what he did here. He's a generous, straightforward galloper, and here he goes down fighting, clear of the rest in 3rd, in a 3-way go. He's only been raised £1 for this. Every reason to expect a bit more improvement, and Aeronautic looks a prime player in the Petingo, Nick.
Yeah, I would say so. And if running this race is surely one of interest. Right, we've got some Galway form to have a look at as well, Fran.
We do indeed, yes. And Aeronautic obviously was balloted out also of the Sky Bet Eber. But here's a cracking handicap at the Galway Festival on a Friday night. We've got the likes of Lord Church, God of Thunder, all in the mix on the back of good efforts. Lord Church is a very interesting horse. He moved to trainer Emma Mullins after having a fantastic campaign last season as a 3-year-old. Just hasn't happened for him to date, but maybe the best yet to come in the back of this, staying on effort at Galway on this occasion. And with the nature of the track, he kept on well down towards the outside of the pack, where the rail was definitely the place to be. Cheap piece also on him for the first time, and it could be a more conventional track like Leopardstown in comparison to Galway. Could bring out the best in this horse.
Okay, good race, competitive race. How do you see it?
I'm going 5, 14, 17 and 1. Aeronautic on top for the reasons outlined. Lord Church, I sense Fran has a sneaking fancy, so do I. He's got cheap pieces for the first time. Good chance. 17, Light as Air, had to work hard to win his maiden, but that race has worked out really well. He's got headgear for the first time, and 1 Harbour win. But Fran Berry, you won this race once as a jockey. Can you tip the winner today?
I certainly hope so, but it's a cracking race. So much strength and depth, so many angles with horses transferring their form also from not just to flat, but over hurls. And my selection is Bunting, who ran at Galway in the conditions race on the same day as Lord Church ran on a Friday night. He looked very much in need of the run on that occasion, and I think he could be very well handicapped with a potential for a strong gallop to aim at. Rain softened ground may not suit Aeronautic number 5 back in 2nd, but he still should run a big race. Light as Air in O'Brien won this race with a trio last year in Fighter. Light as Air is a similar type of profile, number 17. And number 8, Comfort Zone, with a great record at Leopardstown in big handicaps, both on a flat and over hurls back and forth.
Fran, I'm with you. I think he could be a well-handicapped horse. One for Willie Mullins, who's won this twice in the last decade. Number 7, Bunting for me in a competitive race. And so to the last race on Saturday, the last of 9. It is the Hong Kong Jockey Club Whirlpool Autumn Fillies Handicap, and that is a premier event. It's run over 1,600 metres. It was won last year by Vera Secret, who we saw earlier in the card running in the Group 1 Matron Stakes. So that, if you're not familiar with it by now, is our track and course map. Right, quadruple heads them. Bella Isabella, Malavilli is there. One more dance we'll be talking about, down to continuity. Leatherfly, Plume Noir, that is just page 1 of the runners. 20 declared. There are some that are queuing up to get in as well as reserve. Serialised, Luscious, Cindria, and Vika, and down to Glory to Be. Plenty of horses on the day have got good track form up and down the card. One more dance in our last race, Graham, is just one of them.
Yeah, this is a horse that's won 4 handicaps already in 2025 and has a good record at the track. Pick up a couple of other potential runners this weekend, but right on the sharp end, One More Dance is straightforward. £7 claimer Patrick McGettigan got a really good tune out of this filly, and he gets the ride again. Uncomplicated, progressive, and wins. So plenty to like about One More Dance's chance here. 1 or 2 in behind, including Serialize. She has headgear for the first time this weekend. Better to come from her, but have a look at that win. It's decisive.
Fran, we're going to move on and have a look at Malavilli, who's definitely on best form a big player in this.
Yeah, she was. She came short in Group 3 company, messy race at Tipperary last time, but this was Malavilli on her best behaviour, winner on the all-weather at Dundalk earlier in the year in Irish debut, and she showed a turn of foot that we saw on that occasion here, picking up well to win in quite a tactically run race at Tipperary. Tight finish, but she gets up to beat Empress Artemis, who reopposes at Leopardstown on Saturday. Empress Artemis went on to get off the mark for her current trainer at Bellstown since then, and Shavazi rallying late on between horses. They're finishing off nicely with, on the near side, Greatest Drama, who ran a good race subsequently at Roscommon. A lot to like about the performance of Malavelli. I would have given her a pass for last run in Group 3 company. However, if it gets on the soft side, I'd put a line through her. I think she'll struggle. All of her best forms come on a sound surface.
Okay, Graham, nice easy nightcap. Just gives you 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I think they've saved the hardest puzzle till last at Leopardstown on Saturday. This is really tough. Not maximum confidence, but number 7, Nolly Timere, has really thrived in cheap pieces. 2 from 2 in the headgear, found loads to win last time. 14 Serialized has been checkered recently. Headgear might spark her up. 6 One More Dance and 18 Shavazi. Fran, can you take us out on a winner in the nightcap?
We'll pay for a holiday if my selection wins anyway, but I'm very keen on a chance at number 12, Plume Noir. This filly has got a very good record when trained up fresh, and she's got a high cruising speed. Her only run this season was a superb effort at Curra, which can definitely upgrade it on that occasion. Running around a bend with a likely strong gallop team at Leopardstown should suit her extremely well. She's a sister to classic winner in Jet Setting, and with rain soft and ground possible, she has to be a big player with Shamie Heffernan taking a ride. She's my selection, number 12, to beat the unexposed type, number 7, Nolly Timere, back in second. One More Dance, number 6, back in third, and at a huge price, Independent Expert, number 2, back in fourth.
Fran Berry, thank you very much indeed. Graham Cunningham, ditto that as well. For what it's worth, I'm going to have a small play on one, returning a 3-year-old not seen for a good couple of months. Bella Isabella. But thanks to the guys for their expert opinion and insight as ever. If you enjoyed today, we wish you the very best of luck for what you're punting at Leopardstown. We'll see you again for a small but select preview of Sunday's racing at the Curragh.